Hey John, thanks for joining us on Advancing Your
Great,
Photography.
glad to be here. Thank you.
When it comes to photography, what are you most passionate about?
You know, that's a good question. Most of my work is in sports. I do a little bit of commercial work, a little bit of corporate work, but I'd have to say that it's all about the image now. And it doesn't matter what it is. All I want to do is produce a great image.
How do you do that?
That's a good question. I like to characterize my images as being simple and clean. So those are the two things I'm looking for all the time when I approach a shoot, is how can I get the essence of my image to come out right away, my subject, and make it pop out of the frame.
So John, what are some of the key points that you use every time you pick up a camera or even before you pick up a camera?
There's 2 points. One is I like to think about what the client wants, and the other one is I like to think about what the image is I'm trying to produce. Ansel Adams talked about when he was photographing that he would think about the image in his mind's eye, and then he would use all the tools that he had to create that image. So if I'm shooting for a client, I'm going to say, hey, what do you guys want? They say, well, I want a sports figure to show the emotion and the action. So I'm going to take all the tools that I have, my cameras, my lenses, my computer, my software, and think about the end result before I even start shooting. Same thing when I'm shooting images for myself. I think about what is it I'm trying to do today? What am I trying to show? And then I line up all the tools I have to try to reach that goal. So I'm really thinking about the image before I even take it. When I'm on a shoot, though, a photo will develop, and I'll see an image I didn't think existed, or one image will lead me to another image. But really, before I go to a shoot, I'm trying to think about what is it I'm trying to produce, and then I try to capture that.
And how do you get in there and draw the kind of emotions that you're looking for from your subject?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you're doing a portrait, I think the smartest thing to do is to just talk with people for a while. Get to know them, get them to trust you. Really show them who you are, and in turn they will show you who they are. If you walk into a shoot with a lot of attitude or demanding that somebody just turn it on for you, they can't do it. But if you walk in, establish a rapport with them, really show them an honest personality of who you are, you're going to get the same in return, and that's where you try to capture.
Awesome. What would people be surprised to know about you as a photographer?
That's a good. Oh, I think the most surprising thing would be when I started my photography career in high school, I thought shooting sports was silly and a waste of time. And now I am, and I find shooting sports one of the funnest things I do.
Okay, how about composition and angles in terms of getting a great sport shot?
For sports, I think the key is to I always tell students that I teach, get low, get high. So if you're shooting soccer or football or any field sport, try to get as low as you can. If I could, I would lay down on the field every game because a lot of times the players are looking down at their feet, looking down at the ball, or if they have their helmets on, it's hard to see. So you want to get as low as possible and get that low angle looking back up at the athlete. And that kind of gives them that superhero feel as well. Makes them look like giants. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the biggest keys. The other one is to get high. So that'll help you clean up your backgrounds. Go up into the stands, shoot down on the field, get a nice green background as a backdrop, and also gives you a little bit of different perspective.
What are some of your own favorite photographs?
I took one USA versus Ghana at the World Cup in Germany, 2006. And at that point, I was just working on a tip that I got from David Bergman, who's a sports photographer out of New York. And it was kind of a one-handed grab. So you, in soccer or football, you're always shooting with 2 lenses, usually a 400-2.8, and then you have your 70-200 on your hip. And his key was that he would reach down, grab the 70-200 when he would see action right in front of him, bring it up with one hand, and be able to photograph one-handed. And that gave him a lot faster reaction. So I started trying out this tip, and so the players were running towards me, too tight for the 400. So I went down, grabbed with one hand, reached up, grabbed it, and got a picture of a player doing almost a bicycle kick right in front of me. And it's a fantastic, image. Really shows the emotion and the power of the sport. And a funny thing about that shot is one of our other photographers was on the other side of the field photographing us, and it was only me shooting, and 2 other photographers had their jaw dropped watching the action because they couldn't get their cameras up fast enough. So using the one-handed up fast that gave me one of my best shots that I love.
Any other pointers like that for sports?
Another one is, you need to, I think all the video games I played as a kid really helped me out, because that hand-eye coordination is really important, and practice makes perfect. So a lot of times I'll just go out in the backyard and just practice focusing. Just like you're going to kick the ball around in the backyard or throw the football. If you've had your lenses, spend a half an hour just practicing quick focusing, because that's really the key to sports photography.
You got it. Any final tips for our viewers who just want to get better photographs?
One of the biggest ones that I think the amateur struggles with is taking their camera off full automatic. I would say learn that camera, put it on semi-automatic, your time value, your aperture priority, learn how those functions work. And the biggest, most important thing I think now is, shoot raw. Sure, it's an intimidating thing. You've got these huge files. You have to manage them. But it's like having a negative. It's like having Fujifilm Velvia, and you get to print that image whatever way you want. When I see students work who have gone from JPEG to RAW during one class session, it's amazing. And they come back and they say, I'll never shoot JPEG again. So that'd be the biggest tip I have for everybody, is shoot RAW.
John, thanks for joining us on Advancing Your Photography. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Marc.
Be sure to subscribe to our blog now to stay updated on my show, and we'll give you tips and insight to keep advancing your photography. Also, check out our guests' website for a closer look at their work. Tune in to our next episode of Advancing Your Photography for an inside look at another photographer's world. Until then, this is Marc Silber reminding you to get out and capture your own images of life.